the director of business and also one of the founding members here. And on the other hand, we have Roy Band. He's a community manager at FlytBase, who takes care of the Benelux
Correct.
region.
Milestone.
Oh, Milestone. Sorry.
Master systems, yes. Thank you.
Yes. We've just been talking to Roy so much, right? We feel like a team at this point.
We are a
Uh,
team, absolutely.
Roy Band, community manager at Milestone. So, we are really excited to be hosting this session together. Today's conversation is about something we've been seeing across the entire security industry. The traditional model of security operations is being pushed to its limits, especially in like large, complex environments, these big enterprises we are seeing. At the same time, new technologies like AI, autonomous drones, and advanced analytics are becoming more and more accessible, but also more and more powerful. But the real shift is not just about adding new tools to your system, right? It's about all of how all of these different things come together in one single coordinated way of operating. And that's what we are calling blended security. In this session, we'll walk through why the traditional approach is breaking down, what blended security models actually look like, how platforms like Milestone and FlightBase come together to make this operational, and how this changes the way security teams and drone operations teams actually work together. So by the end of this, we all really hope that you walk away with a clear understanding of how autonomous systems can be introduced into existing security environments in a practical and scalable way. So let's get started. Achal, you have the stage.
Awesome. Thank you, Nivi. Thank you for setting the context. And thank you, Roy, for joining. And thank you, everybody. I see a lot of folks online and already active on chat. So keep the chat active and let's kick in this webinar. So, as Nivi said, the entire topic is about blended security in the physical AI era. If you joined us in the last podcast with Ryan from Titan Protection, they operate out of Kansas in the US. We de- did a very deep dive from an angle of what security companies are doing and how they have transformed their business. Today, we are going deeper into that topic of blended security and understanding each and every component and how our now integration with Milestone is going to take it to the next step. So we will talk about how AI, autonomous drone, and the security operation work can actually come under one system. So let me start with the slides and help you walk through it one by one. So if you look at the playbook so far, that old playbook is breaking, right? Nobody is looking to deploy more guards or more cameras. It wouldn't fix it. You would you'd increase your cost without increasing your coverage. Adding guards or cameras increases spend linearly, but effectively site coverage stays flat. You could still have the blind spots. You could be still doing a lot of reactive stuff, which is not persistent. So guard patrols, overlapping routes, responding after events occur. No one watches the full perimeter in real time. There's no deterrent factor right now with this kind of technology. You have deployed possibly one or two guard every location, and that person is responsible to kind of take care of that site. And if you add more, it just kind of increases lot of complexity, as well as you would not have that kind of site-wide visibility yet. Plus you are again putting humans at risk for areas where the threat is really high. And in terms of awareness, not manpower, you have the real challenge. Instead of it's not just about the head count, right? It's about the situational awareness, and every zone, every second counts. So what do we do about that, and how do we leverage the blended security model? And this is where let's understand this much better. So there are, I would divide that into six major parts, where it's a right mix of people, infrastructure, AI, and autonomous systems like autonomous drones and robots. And it is not just about having guards, security guards, or having robots. It's about both, and how do we blend this together? So you, as you see in these images, you see that there are multiple pieces to this infrastructure. You would still have your security cameras, your alarms, your perimeter fence, smart fence systems, motion alarms. You would of course have people on the ground to react. You have people sitting in the security command center. You need autonomous drones as an infrastructure, the operation software where you can manage everything and connect this intelligent system. And you need to also prepare for the future where autonomous rovers, ground robots, and humanoids are coming in. And that is what blended security would look like. We would need infrastructure that can detect, it can verify, it can extend, and human can decide and mitigate either through another human who would be there to respond on a site, or it could be a humanoid in the future. So when you look at the core components, you're looking at these core 6 pieces with physical guard and remote operators, cameras, alarm systems, smart fences, radar on the site, AI powered analytics, autonomous drones and future robots. And you also need the remote operating or the remote monitoring and response center. Now, depending upon what your size of the site is, how many sites you have, the risk profile and budget, you could of course merge the remote operation centers, or you can merge certain things. But if you want to highlight, yeah, I look at that as an individual level, these are the core components of a blended security. So when we look at this, there are 3 layers. If we divide all those 6 layers into 3 core buckets, there is human force, where you have guards, operators, response team, and they would, of course, need an intelligent layer. So they would need their AI co-pilots to make decisions and reduce the cognitive load. Then you have the ground infrastructure where you have cameras, radar, alarms, but now there is a new AI layer which is coming in, which is making them more intelligent. And then you have your drones, docking stations, robots, and you again have an AI layer which is making them smart. So further down, when you look at the blended security and you look at these 3 core components of human force, ground infrastructures, and robotic infrastructure, you would also now have a common layer of intelligence provided by different vendors, right? And that is where FlightBase and Milestone is going to talk about their AI layers in the coming slides. So today, when we look at all these tools, everything exists, right? The problem is not about whether these tools exist. It's about whether they work together in one operational workflow. So these platforms are siloed. Every tool runs its own login, own interface. Operators toggle between the system instead of acting on a single pane of glass. You have fragmented views. Camera show on one map, drone show on another, access control sits on third one, and there is no shared spatial awareness across the stack. Thirdly, there are disconnected workflows. If you get an alarm from one system and you want a drone to dispatch, there's no system which is tightly integrated. There's no verification. Everything has to be a manual or a radio call or a guesswork. And then there are slow handoffs. So if an incident escalates, operators lose minutes passing context between the teams. By the time a response arrives, the situation has changed. And I'm sure a lot of you who are right now in the security industry, you hear about these things, and these are the pain points you have today. So how do we resolve that? And that is where we are here to talk about that in more detail. So let's wire them together. And I'm happy to introduce the integration with the Milestone platform and go deeper into that in the next few slides. So first of all, let's talk about what is happening in the drone operation center, right? Remote operation center. And these are some snapshots from our partners across the globe. So you have Titan Protection in US, you have Loon Security in Netherlands. You're seeing these kind of remote operation centers come up. And FlightBase has been providing a unified robotics fleet management software where you can have a hardware agnostic solution. I've listed down a lot of hardware right here, which are very popular. So in terms of autonomous drones, you have DJI Dock 1, 2, and 3. You have Hextronic Atlas with the bigger drones, like if you have large payloads that needs to go on a drone for certain use cases. And you can also use a non-dock fleet. So a lot of companies already have certain kind of drone fleets, and they want to merge everything together. So FlightBase as a unified fleet management layer comes into that picture where we can bring all of this together under the single platform. We can make sure that it's BVLOS compliant. You can have multiple teams collaborate and get access to the data from these aerial robots. So this automates your data collection part or automated response part, where you can dispatch an aerial robot in matter of seconds. You can remotely control everything, and you can also do one-to-many operations. Now, this is where I would like to pass on to Nivi and Roy to talk about a little bit to introduce Milestone and go deeper. We can quickly have a quick introduction about Roy and probably play this video.
Yeah. Roy, please go ahead. You can take it up right now.
Yeah, so I'm Roy. I'm Roy Band from Milestone Systems. I'm a technology partner manager or community manager, as they call it. And I'm responsible for the relationships and integrations of our platform. And for those people who don't know Milestone, Milestone is a market leader for open platform video management software. And what does typically a video management software package do? Well, we take in the video streams from IP cameras, traditional surveillance cameras. We store and record this securely, with cybersecurity highly regarded, of course. We manage authorization and authentication and manage video distribution to stakeholders. And on top of that, we also manage third-party integrations. So where Milestone traditionally, 28 years ago, was focusing purely on the integration of IP cameras, providing people the freedom of choice to use whatever camera is needed. Nowadays, it's also third-party solutions like access control, video analytics, and now today also drones. So you see that blending of security requirements, including drones, are picking up and actually providing more and more capable solutions for end users. So XProtect is the product, as we call it. And that is the software that we deliver, and that's our open platform to integrate also the robotics and the video feeds from drones.
Yep. I'll go ahead and play this video so everybody can get a quick overview of what Milestone is and get a better understanding of their vision and how Milestone has been leading the market in the video management system area.
Yep.
From retail floors to critical infrastructure, every organization faces unique security threats to its people and assets. What if your security system could detect or even prevent these before they strike? XProtect is an award-winning video management software that enables you to customize your solution, centralize your operations, and secure your business. With XProtect as the backbone of your surveillance system, you're ready to respond to the threats of today and scale to meet your needs tomorrow. With tens of thousands of supported cameras and more than 1,000 compatible applications, XProtect works with what you have and lets you choose what comes next. It gives you complete control over when and how to integrate new cameras, functionalities, and AI capabilities, while remaining fully compatible with your existing systems. You can get the most from your current security investment while focusing future initiatives for maximum impact and performance. XProtect connects all your cameras, access controls, alarms, and analytics in one place. You no longer need to juggle multiple systems. With XProtect, you'll see live and recorded video streams, interactive maps, alarms, and notifications all visible in a single interface and accessible from anywhere with XProtect mobile apps. With all the relevant information at hand, you can respond faster, investigate more efficiently, and anticipate risks before they occur. Plus, you cut the time, cost, and training required to manage your security and operations. Modern surveillance systems are now a core part of a company's IT infrastructure, making cybersecurity more important than ever. That's why XProtect is secure by design, with encryption, multi-factor authentication, and continuous security updates. This helps prevent breaches and human error, and ensures your systems remain compliant with industry security standards. Your cameras can do much more than security. Today, you'll find XProtect driving smarter operations in every area, from workplace safety monitoring to process documentation and troubleshooting. As video becomes more integrated into IT, XProtect helps you take full advantage of the possibilities. XProtect is part of the Milestone product portfolio, which includes the intelligent insights of BriefCam analytics and the flexibility of Arcules vSaaS cloud deployments. Our products are built on principles of responsible technology and ethical AI, With privacy and transparency at their core, the portfolio amplifies what you can achieve with video technology. XProtect is trusted in more than 500,000 customer sites worldwide because it doesn't just protect. It predicts threats, simplifies operations, and grows with your business. XProtect. It's your security, your way.
Perfect. I think that helped explain a lot of things to our customers and see how exactly your system works and what all it covers. But I do have a question, Rob, which is that at what point did you start hearing customers ask about aerial or autonomous systems and how those fit into XProtect?
Yeah, it was at least 4 or 5 years ago when it really became prominent that the integration of drones and robotics was a large requirement, especially for the bigger sites and larger enterprise end users. And it was also back then when we started organizing our first Milestone Technology Days or Experience Days that we showcased integrations with drones. However, back then it was really on one-on-one integration. It wasn't an open platform like FlytBase, but still you could see the requirement and the need for end users to respond faster and to get more situational awareness. So yeah.
And how did you handle these requests back then? Because technology now is very advanced, and if someone comes to you and they say, "Hey, I want a drone dispatch to happen whenever an alarm is raised," doing it now is, I think, pretty straightforward, right? But then 4 or 5 years ago was a lot more complex. So what happened then?
It was much more complex, but also integrations were quite limited back then. And one part of being a technology partner manager is not only to manage the partnerships that we have, but also to scout for new solutions for our partners. And that is, of course, the beauty of an open platform. And FlytBase also being an open platform itself, being device agnostic, with the open APIs and SDK that we have, we also scan for new solutions. And that also includes drones and robotics.
Right. So when you evaluated the space, of course, there's the FlytBase is an open platform. But apart from that, what made FlytBase the right partner to integrate with for you?
Yeah, so Milestone is an open platform, and I personally also am a big believer in open platforms and in the best of breed principles. And that means that if Milestone, like we are, a market leader on VMS, video management solutions, and FlytBase is the market leader and best of breed in drone technology, if you combine these two platforms, then you provide your customers with ultimate flexibility, the future-proofness that they need, and the freedom of choice of devices that they want to connect. And to me and our customers, it's extremely important to stay open because technology moves so fast, it evolves so fast. I mean, 2 or 3 years, we were not talking about generative AI. It was more like object detection. And if you're not able to respond and adapt to new innovation, then your customer are getting locked in and they cannot benefit from new innovations. So that's why I think platform choice is crucial. And for us as technology partner manage, the platforms that we choose to work with from our partners is also crucial because the partnership that we have is the strongest then for our customers. And that, like I said, that provides them with the ultimate flexibility that they need.
Okay. And I mean, this question might seem like it has an obvious answer, but it's very important for other people to gain this insight as well. It's a very simple question, which is right now with the integration that we do have, which is the ingestion of a video feed and a webhook alarm response, which I will explain in a bit, by the way. What exactly do the operators gain from this? Like, what's helping them? What's helping them derive value from this?
First of all, it's low latency, fast video from aerial views. That allows them to create a greater situational awareness. I think that's one of the most important aspects for security operators that they will gain. Plus visuals on areas where there are no fixed cameras. I mean, we can deploy large-scale video management systems, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 cameras in a public safety scenario. That's not uncommon. But how much more can you deploy as an end user, and how much cost will it bring to operate and maintain all of that? While in fact, if you can deploy a drone in a couple of seconds to a location where there's actually an incident, that's of course a benefit. And then it's just simply integrating video and responding to events, but that is already an impactful value for a lot of end users.
I think, Roy, it would be helpful for you to define what an event in Milestone is, right? So what are these alarms that we are responding to on Milestone's end?
Yes. So today we don't only connect these cameras. I mean, we support 14,000 or even more today video devices. But on the other hand, we also integrate security systems like intrusion detection systems, fence detection systems, all that ground infrastructure that Tachal talked about in his previous slides. That's where the XProtect platform already integrates into. So if we get any trigger of one of these systems, with our integration, we would be able to deploy a drone automatically to one of these incident sites. So that is what we call a detection. But what we also see today is that video is not only used in security, but also beyond security in operational processes. So if we do with video people counting, for example, and there's too many people in a certain area, which causes a safety issue, then we also respond to safety issue, fly the drone over there, measure the amount of people, and help operators assess the incident.
Got it. And where do you see this going, right? Especially towards more automated or event-driven responses. What does the future look like for you?
Yeah, so the security industry is coming from video motion detection to AI-supported object detection. AI-supported object classification and detection has become a commodity. I mean, every camera is today that you buy smart enough and is running AI models to detect mainly vehicles or humans or persons. Then you also can maybe classify some subclasses from that, so trucks, buses, and maybe a type of clothing that they wear. But the innovation that we now see going on in 2026 will be the year of vision language models, where you can actually create video summarization and all that great stuff from that as well. But looking further into the future, I think the control rooms of the future, as I would call it, is also heavily agentic driven. So that means that AI agents will assist operators making smarter, faster, and better decisions based on the input that systems will provide that are connected to XProtect. And to give you maybe an example, let's say if a video detection model detects a car crash on a street or on a highway, and nowadays you can pass that incident on to a VLM that makes a video summarization and provides the operator with all the context of what happened, how many people are involved, how many cars are involved. And then typically in the future, an AI agent will then respond and say, okay, I see 2 or 3 cars with 5, 6 people. Do you want me to send an ambulance, or you want me to send a drone? To assist? And that is where, in my vision, control rooms and operators will be assisted also with XProtect.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Roy, for that. I think it gives a lot of our audience a lot of clarity on, why this is necessary, what XProtect even actually does, and how, drone tech and XProtect kind of merge together. So talking about merging things together, we wanted to start off by introducing a soft launch for our Milestone Flink, right? Until now, what we have seen is that we are able to ingest any video that the drone has into Milestone, as Roy also mentioned. And apart from that, if there's any alarm or event raised on Milestone, we can get the drones from FlytBase to respond to them and go to that location. But the issue over here is all we still get is the video feed. We needed a deeper level of integration that actually gives complete visuals over what is happening. So, Achal, if you could just play the video. Right. So what's happening over here is right now I'm just giving it a simple go to location command. That means I'm telling the drone, okay, I'm dropping a pin over here. Please just go to that point on the map. Uh, for anyone who's not seen it, this is actually our FlytBase dashboard, right? And this is where the main command and control happens. But then over here, what we see is the milestone integration itself. On the right side, you're currently seeing the dock feed. And oh, there we go. That's the drone taking off over there, right? And you can switch between the dock feed and the drone feed. Not only that, but then you can also start tracking where the drone is moving on the map itself. Right now, it might look a little confusing with the green blobs and the red blobs, but those are actually what we call geofences. So this is just marking the area the drone can fly in, and the red ones are the areas the drone cannot fly in. So that's for basic command and control and operational view. So we get an entire map view over there. Apart from that, on the lower left corner, we see the entire telemetry, where exactly the drone is located, the altitude. But apart from all of this, what you get is any predefined missions that you have on FlytBase, or even a simple go to location, you will be able to send them from Milestone, right? So you will be able to give basic commands that have already been predefined right from Milestone. What does that actually mean for you? What value do you actually gain from this, right? A lot of our operators, when they are sitting in that command center, they want a one-stop view, a one-stop solution. As Roy mentioned, you don't want to keep switching between FlytBase and then Milestone again, especially when events like an alarm is being raised because of maybe, let's say, perimeter intrusion. So switching between stages is cognitive load, that additional load that honestly a pilot does not need or shouldn't have. And this is what that fixes. And we want to, this is currently in beta, and we are looking to develop this further and explore with Roy what other things we can do with this integration. And we are looking to get this launched up in production in a couple of months, roughly. So very excited to see how this works when our customers actually start using it. Perfect. So that's this integration. And I think, Achal, we can go back to the presentation now.
Sure. So thank you so much, Nivita, for putting this up. And I'll share more context on the same lines, right? Like, why does this integration and why does this advanced fling exist? And what kind of things are we seeing in the market? So if we go deeper, we all, of course, had the alarms integrated. You can dispatch the drone on those alarms. But as Nirita said, things are getting complex. You need a much better view of what is happening on the site. You need a unified dashboard. In some kind of areas, when operations scale, you would have different people operating drones and robots, and different people who are taking care of your security or maybe inspection or GIS in the coming time. Similarly, you could also have threats of other drones which are coming into your territory. And that is where even a unified dashboard which gets integrated with counter drone systems is really important. So we released this a few weeks back, but now when we have these kind of map integration layers and command and control directly with Milestone, we can even send information related to counter drone systems inside Milestone to other security operators. They could know the location of other drones if they are there on their platform. They can also see the location of where their operator is. So they can look at, of course, the location of the RC, and they can also know the Google Map location. And they can also request, the way Nivedita showed, go to location and ask the drone to go to the location of the pilot who is flying that drone, and collect the evidence or broadcast an audio message as a deterrent message to avoid that on site. So huge shout out to Senhive in Europe, where we have been closely working with them with integration, and this integration is live in FlytBase. But the whole goal is that we would love to bring that tightly integrated into Milestone. So even the security operators and the entire fleet of people who are operating under that security team would also have access to this data.
Can I comment to that?
Yeah, sure.
Because this is the one of the best examples, I think, of the power when you combine platforms together, right? So we have an ecosystem, FlytBase has an ecosystem, and now with the integration of Senhive into the FlytBase, we can also, and our customers can benefit from the counter-drone solutions that we otherwise wouldn't be able to provide. So now you have a combined solution of two ecosystems strengthening each other, and that's the beauty of this outcome.
Absolutely, Roy. Like I cannot agree more on that, and that is where this partnership is really important. And I see a lot of our partners who are the drone solution providers who are providing this technology. They can really benefit, as well as the enterprise security teams as well. So let me summarize what we have seen so far, right? And this is how a typical workflow would look like, where you would have event triggers. So you would have camera analytics, radar. We spoke a lot about radar systems in the podcast we did last time with Titan Protection. They deploy those radars uh, to detect people or intruders and send the drone. Alarms, perimeter sensors, they can detect, and then this could be integrated with Milestone directly. So the event appears in Milestone. Roy beautifully explained what event is, so I would not go deeper into that. The operator immediate gets a situational context and can use the same Milestone dashboard to dispatch a drone, which and the drone can reach there in a really less time and give the better situational awareness, and this entire workflow where they can verify and resolve what is happening on their site. So very high level workflow, but this is how things would look like as we deploy these systems in the field. Sorry, I think I missed the slide. Can you see my slide deck? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was sharing there is it may so happen that this is the same team, but we are also seeing there are two separate hats. So there are people who are responsible for security. So they own the incident response. They work inside Milestone as the primary environment. It could be hundreds of people in that team. They understand and verify the incident on site. They coordinate response. They deter actions, monitor live camera feeds and video, make real-time decision under pressure. And then you also need a drone ops team, because it's not just about flying drones, it's compliance, it's readiness. You need to, of course, have today mission being planned, manage autonomous flights, the calendar and scheduler. You need to, of course, have know-how of maintaining the drone dock health, battery management, and so on. You need to handle your BVLOS procedures and airspace safety. And as the operation scales, you need to make sure that you have reliable SOPs and standard operating procedures set for these drone or robotics operations there. And that is where this integration is so important, because these two teams, if they are different people, they can seamlessly work together. And even if it's a single command center and there are multiple people who are wearing different hats, they can easily kind of do the handoff when such kind of things happen, and it can streamline that entire process. So summarizing that, why this matters for security teams operate drones without leaving their primary workflow. So in Milestone, they are very familiar with that dashboard and the workflows. They can cut verification time, expand coverage without adding headcount. Same people can operate that and adopt autonomy at pace that fits their role. For drone ops team, they can have run safe operation, compliant operations under FlytBase, integrate directly with the VMS systems and alarm systems, Milestone that they rely on. So these can merge together. And for the higher leadership, they need the business outcome. So you could have a stronger security posture for your security site. It could be an oil and gas, it could be a defense manufacturing site, it could be any site that you're looking to secure. You have cleaner team design, higher ROI per site. You can use leverage same people. Maybe your drone ops center is single center which has been deployed at one site, but then they work with multiple security teams across your site. And these kind of integrations help them do this. And they can have faster enterprise adoption because both personas get exactly the tools they need. And you can do your nationwide rollout or a global rollout if you have a lot of those sites. And in the coming months, you'll hear a lot of news about this happening with multiple marquee customers around the globe. So that was a part of the integration. We also wanted to touch upon the AI layer from FlytBase and go deeper into that aspect. So if you had come across our 10-day launch series where we launched different AI agent, one of the first agent that we launched is Detect Anything Security Agent. So an AI agent entirely trained on understanding the live video feed from the drones. And it's not just detecting a human or detecting a person, but a much more contextual understanding. So while we have, of course, a lot of LLMs and VLMs coming for security cameras and systems, the technology that you need for aerial footage with aerial context and a context with uh, remote drone operator can get is very different. And that is where FlytBase's workhorse product has been designed to create these kind of AI offerings. So I'll play one by one video. These are very short videos to give you a context of how things would look like. And this is live right now. So in case you are already a FlytBase user, you can try it out on the dashboard. In this situation, and this is very typical of a security site, right? You are in the night time, you're possibly looking for any aggressive postures or increased human activity on a certain site where a particularly human would be able to understand that something is happening here. But when operations scale and you have multiple live video feed coming from the drones, it's becoming very difficult for remote operators to identify what is happening, and they could be sitting long hours to see the screen as they're doing these flight operations. So workhorse Detect Anything can take this kind of contextual understanding, and you can train the agent to even detect these kind of things which are very subjective. So as you can see, the drone is moving around and possibly doing a mission here, and you can see that it is able to detect the increased human activity where it can say, hey, it's an unauthorized activity, looks like that 85%, and have possible breach gathering as well. So that way you can have understanding of this situation. Let's look at another one where we have large crowd gathering, and now you have multiple drones. We recently deployed for a carnival in Brazil, and they were looking at certain ground gatherings, and they need to identify that. Possibly you're doing that mission in that area, and it can even get that kind of context. Let's look at another example. Very possible is fence cut. This is a big one, but things could be very small as well. So you have your routine missions planned around your site, and you're particularly looking for any fence cut or a damage on a big site, which can go unnoticed in certain areas. It could be a vehicle collision kind of way where you're doing a highway patrol, and it certainly detects something and it can alert the right way. And of course, in the future, it could be bi-directional alert. So it's not just we're getting events from Milestone. We can also send things to Milestone, and these alerts could be shared across the team. And that is the AI layer that we already have live on the FlytBase platform. It could be also a smoke. So these agents are totally customizable. They take your custom prompts. You can configure that, or you can also work with our partner success or customer success team to configure these agents. So this is where the AI layer of the drone world is coming into the picture, where we can have more intelligence on the drone flights that we are doing, and have a better understanding or alerts from that data. Great. So that brings us to the end. And this is a slide for future where as we move to a particular use case, we're not talking about security cameras, security guards, video management system, or drones. We're talking about an entire physical AI infrastructure. Today, we have number of operations on where you have autonomous drones, you have AI agents like this for event detections, you have integrated security workflows, and you have a smart system of records. And now with this integration with Milestone, the security workflows can be even enhanced there. But where do we go next from here? The next one, of course, is integrating ground robots, because we have been so far doing the outdoor security. For indoors, ground robots could be very perfect, or for nearby areas. So that is something we discussed and shared our vision in the FlytBase one launch we did, and we are bringing integrations with ground robots to the FlytBase platform as well. So far, all our mission planning or the drone dispatch has been very much manual. You'd be soon hearing about how asset-based robotic response could happen. And this is something which is in the roadmap, and we will share more on that in the coming weeks. Then, as you have flying more and more with drones, a lot of our partners are already flying. They are doing 2,000 flights a month, have a lot of data, and we need much better way to search among that data and generate reports. And that is where you'll see a lot of forensics coming in on this data, not just on the CCTV side, but also from the drone side. And that would help us actually make a system of, sorry for the spell, this is a platform of connected systems that where we would have a single platform where everything is connected. So that is where we are going next. And in the future, we would also see a lot of AI coming in as a co-pilot for fleet on ground, where they would be able to talk to AI, where AI has all the understanding from the sensors, VMS, systems like FlytBase, and can give real-time response or set actions from and give actions from that co-pilot. It could be a mobile app, it could be a different interface. We'll see what it would be in the future. And then you would have intelligence across humans and machines. As machines also learn everything on the side, they would be able to assess human much better. And then, of course, we would see humanoids coming up. So we would have to leverage those for incident response. And ultimately, that would help us lead to evolving into a system of actions. What Roy explained in his part, that how a CCTV camera can understand what is happening and take the right actions. So a CCTV camera connected to a master system can take the right action, whether to send an ambulance, a fire truck, or actually send a drone right now first to get a better understanding. So this is a visionary slide of how things would look like as a roadmap, and you'll see both Milestone and FlytBase working in this direction and bringing this thing to market, where we can scale and have more intelligent robots, machines help us secure our sites. So with that, yeah, we come to the end. Yeah, Roy, please go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you, Achal. I mean, I think from all of this, we can confidently conclude that the possibilities are endless and our imagination is the only limit, right? So at this point, we'd love to open it up for the questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat, in the QA section. Until then, I'm going to start asking the questions that are already here. So one of them is the Milestone Flink different now from the live streaming Flink? I can take that up. Yeah, it
Sure.
definitely is. The live streaming Flink was only giving the operator or person at the control board visual over what the drone is seeing, right? It's just a video feed. But now the Milestone Flink has a deeper integration, which has certain command and control and incident response capabilities that were previously not there. I hope that answers your question. The next one is, what changes operationally when a site moves from guards only security to a blended model? Achal, if you want to take that up.
Yeah, I'm reading it again. So what changes operationally when a site moves from guards only security to blended model? We covered a lot of this in the last podcast with Ryan, as I said. The primary things are let me break it down. Let me think about it. So basically your approach to security entirely changes. So we spoke about what are those six different components, right? You have to think about whether you have the same operators or the same operation center who take care of your remote operations of the drones as well as security, or these are two different things. I'm not sure if this is an enterprise or a partner, but say if you're a big oil and gas company and you have a security team, do you want to build that entirely in house where you want the drone operations, or you want to leverage somebody who has that expertise, they have the right approvals for beam laws, and they can fly for you and they can integrate with your system. You also need to leverage what's there on the site and what additional things you need to install. Like few projects that we're working on, they are setting up smart fences. So far they didn't have that, because even if they had that, they would have nobody to respond to that. But now, since they are deploying autonomous drones, they are thinking about having the different aspects of the sensors on the perimeter so they can dispatch a drone there. So there are a number of things. Possibly I can ask my team to drop a link to the last podcast that we did with Ryan, where we spent an hour on this topic entirely. And somebody who is an operator who has transformed from a guard only approach to a blended model, he covered it beautifully.
Perfect. Thank you, Achal. Let's move on to the next question. How do customers typically start? One dock, one site, one use case, or a larger transformation program?
Hmm. Right. So you have to think it end to end, but you of course can take a crawl walk run approach. You can start with something we call as wave one approach, where you start with one site with one or two dock, right, and start understanding how things work if you're looking to adopt autonomous drones there. And then once you have successfully deployed that, you can actually have the entire layout for your site multi-site rollout, as well as maybe a nationwide or global rollout. One important thing to remember is this technology is again agnostic. For example, if you look at a lot of ecosystem of Milestone, there are a lot of add-ons which not just do security, but they can also do a lot of other stuff with that data. Same goes on with autonomous drones. It's not just about security. Your inspection team, right, would want to use that, or your any incident team or a GIS team would like to use that. You are probably doing operator rounds. That's a possible term which is very used in oil and gas industry, where it's not just inspection, but you're going and checking out. So you're doing your operator rounds there, and you can leverage this technology together. So yeah, start with one use case, but as you create your internal case, it's important to kind of touch upon multiple use case and think about that larger transformation.
Perfect. Thank you. So, another question on AI is, if AI can summarize scenes, identify context, and recommend actions, how does that change the role of the operator inside the control room?
Also, Leroy, you want to take a hit on that?
Yeah, of course. Well, it gives them a better insight on what's happening, and also from a data collection perspective, if you want to do later on a forensic investigation of what actually happened, now you only don't have the basic metadata of a car or a vehicle or a human that is affected, but the entire search capability of the context. So let's say if something happened and this video summarized, there was a car with a certain background of a type of store on the background and a type of vehicle that is involved, then you could ask a VLM about, okay, I'm looking for video that happened on this and that date with a background or in a nearity of a supermarket, for example. And that metadata changes the way how efficient and how quickly an operator can search for video, for example, but also provides them with the information to make right decisions faster. So that's how that helps an operator inside a control room.
Perfect. Thank you, Roy. Douglas is asking us, what level of experience does a FlytBase owner need before using Milestone? So I'll take up this one. If you are a FlytBase pilot, if it's just if you're talking about the Milestone Flink integration itself, that's going to be pretty seamless because the way it is designed right now, it's like a FlytBase Lite version of the entire platform, right? So the commands are the same, the way you work through the interface is pretty much the same. And no worries. Anyway, when we are helping our customers, we give them a good onboarding session. So Milestone also has their onboardings happening at the same time. FlightBase will also onboard you about the transition, where you can find what workflows we can set up for you. All of that we work through that together. So the current integration tries to make it as frictionless as possible, and it tries to keep the UI of our original FlightBase platform as much as possible.
Yeah, and if I may add to that, also the ExpertTech user interface is quite easy to learn. That was always been one of the strong key areas of Milestone, that the learning curve for ExpertTech was quite easy. So you don't need a lot of experience to navigate your way through an ExpertTech user interface. And we also have our online and physical training programs available for operators if they want to use that.
The next question, I think, is somewhat of a continuation of this, which is, what does a typical shift look like for an operator using XProtect with the Milestone Flink? If the way we've been thinking about it is that, as Roy and Achal, both of them talked about these alarms and events that can be raised, right? So it's about having a complete one-stop look over what's happening in your enterprise. You can see exactly where your, fixed cameras or sensors or other aspects of your system are. And at the same time, you get a visual of exactly where your drone itself is flying, right? Because on that integration map, you can see the drone location moving in real time. You can see the dock location itself. In the future, when there will be a Senhive integration, you'll be able to see where the counter drone or where the, unrequired drone is as well. So in one window, in one control room, all of that is present at the same time without you having to move from one place to another. So then an operator does not have to go into the details of using FlightBase alone or shifting from XProtect to that. If an alarm is raised, if an event is created, or some small observations need to be made, he can directly do that from XProtect itself. I hope that answers the question. Next, we have Christoph asking, can we also add non-dock drones to the Milestone integration? Yeah, we can do that. It isn't something that's ready right now, but it is possible since FlightBase itself integrates with non-dock drones now.
Yeah, so it is coming there, and we would also bring the telemetry piece of it to the Milestone. So it's a seamless integration. And in a continuation to the last question as well, we want to create a seamless experience for both the personas. Now, it could be the same person who's wearing the same hat in a smaller operation, or it could be different people there, right? So we need to create that kind of interface. And we think that the experience for a security operator would evolve differently to a drone operator. And that is the direction we are going in with this integration.
Perfect. The next question is, how do you address the challenges of long duration operations, example 1 to 2 hours, when relying on dock-based systems? Does this involve deploying multiple dock units within the same area or manual battery replacement?
Right. So answer is very simple now. With the DJI Dock 3, if you have two systems, you can practically be in the air 24/7. Because of the fast charging times, you can have one more for redundancy. Of course, depends on what's your budget and what you're deploying. But we have seen right now operations which are 24/7 on with 2 or 3 systems, and you can continuously fly those. And you don't have to do the manually battery replacement because the technology is ready there, and you could have a drone up in the air all the time. Maybe Nivi can also share her experience of what she has seen with a lot of partners and customers.
Yeah, so Achal, it's very similar to what you have said, right? There is no more, I mean, battery replacement is only required when, your battery, your drone battery actually finishes its power cycles, right? In some cases, that's 500. And depending on your usage, that can be like 3 weeks or even 2 months. So honestly, you only need to be at site changing those batteries very intermittently, not every day or every few hours. So your operations themselves are continuously running. And as DJI itself keeps getting better and better with their docks and drones, this is going to be more and more seamless, especially because now we are looking into some other capabilities that the DJI dock and drone systems have, which is, if one drone is flying in the air and it runs out of battery, a second drone can continue that mission right where the first drone left it off, right? So that also clears up a lot of space for you.
Right. And this the reason we are kind of double clicking on this is because the core technology is quite reliable and it's better to expand on that. While of course we are exploring different hardware systems, there are systems with hybrid VTOL design, which can fly for 1 2 hours. Right, and there are a lot of systems which are there. The only challenge is that their full autonomy has not been proven, and those systems are really expensive. So uh, I think that would get resolved in some months or a year or two. I don't know how much time it's gonna take, but we would have definitely different systems which can stay up in the air not just 1 or 2 hours or even more, and they can continuously do the surveillance. And FlightBase would be are is closely working with a lot of these vendors to bring those integrations, and we're waiting for those solutions to get validated in the market.
Perfect. We can go to the next question, which is also our last one. As an operator, what sort of information do I get through this integration on my milestone or flight-based dashboard before I'm confident enough to trigger a drone? Um, I I'm slightly confused by the question. Are you talking about like before giving it a mission, you need a set of sorry, I think I'm just Achal, are you able to get
I'm
this
trying
one?
to decipher it as well. So I think person is asking as an operator. Now it could be a drone operator or remote operator. What sort of
Yeah.
information do I get through this integration on my milestone? So this is like an event that FlightBase could create or other things could create. So what Roy spoke about, there are multiple events that could be generated, and then I spoke about how detect anything, workouts detect anything, and also generate events into milestone. However, that does not exist today, but certainly could be made possible, where detection could be sent in the milestone dashboard. When it comes to the flight based dashboard, we have everything ready. We can receive alarms from milestone dashboard or any third party alarms, and then you can trigger the drone to that particular place. The best part of it is once you have milestone, you'll have a trigger, so you have a notification from that system. Possibly, you could also have a CCTV camera around those areas, so you have some more confidence of what is happening, and you can dispatch the drone. A lot of times, this could be false alarms, and that is where you save a huge cost because you're no longer sending a human by foot or by car, and you can easily dispatch a drone. So yeah, that's my
And
answer to the question. That's what I understood. So I tried
Yeah,
to
I
kind of
was about to
yeah,
say that because with Milestone, of course, you have the visual confirmation before you send out a drone. So if you have a couple
yeah,
of fixed cameras in the neighborhood,
yeah.
and these cameras detect anything, you of course have the video recording, so you can go back in time to see what happened. And if it's worth sending a drone, then yes, of course you can do that. And that information that you get will soon be enriched with the video summarization. So you also have the whole context of what happened, and then you can inspect the site or of the incident before you send a drone.
my take, I think, on it was like from a safety perspective. If I was maybe the question is about are you sure that you're getting all the relevant information before the drone is triggered, or are you sure that the drone will actually respond accurately when it is when the system can be operated from both milestone and flight base, so or to avoid any conflicts. From that perspective, which is why we're still in our alpha testing over here, before we roll out this integration, which is why it's going to take a couple more months, is because we are going to do all the tests over here, we're going to, because FlytBase itself has dock 1, dock 2, dock 3, and non-dock drones with us. And before it rolls out to production, we will get all the safety checks in order and make sure that, it doesn't actually destroy any drones. Oh, we have another question. Can drones collaborate on one site, and can we give actions real time? Yeah, so what I'm taking from can drones collaborate is that you're asking for multi-drone deployment in a singular area, right? So the way it works right now is you either have predefined missions in which you're telling a drone what to do, when to do it, and how to exactly do it. And the drone is going ahead and performing that mission. You can also set that for 2, 3 drones at the same time. But on the other hand, if you're asking for manual control, where someone is, we have a pilot on FlytBase or Milestone manually controlling each of these drones, then of course that can be done, because that involves a lot of communication between the team itself. But because you will be able to see all the drones on your map, you will have a visual line as well about what's happening around you. So it's not like you're working in silos.
Right. And I think with one too many operations, if you are looking to just manage everything, we have a dedicated app of that as well, where you can manage multiple drones on one site and you can command them or ground them together. So you can do that. And this is something which is happening a lot now on a lot of solar sites, a lot of security sites, where multiple drones are being flown in different zones and they are collaborating together. It's still not intelligent, I would say. This is just a predefined way, and they manage to this SOP, but you'd see in the coming times to where these systems would become more and more intelligent.
Perfect. So I
Awesome.
think that brings us to the end of the questions. Thank you, everyone. Those were great. Just to leave you with one final thought, the future of security is not about replacing people or adding isolated technologies. It's about connecting everything into a system that works together in real time. Milestone provides the foundation by unifying the security infrastructure. FlytBase extends that by bringing in autonomous response and physical AI. And when these systems are combined with clearly defined roles between security teams and drone operation teams, you can get something that's not just powerful, but actually scalable and usable in the real world. So thank you again for your time, and we really appreciate you joining us here today.
Great. Thank you, everybody. I would like to thank Roy as well to take out time and share his insights and thoughts with us. Our
Yes.
emails are right on the slides here. So yeah, probably Roy, quick last thoughts.
Yeah, I would like to thank you as well for having me. I think this is really a great innovation, and I think we can help a lot of end users and customers with a solution and create more effective control rooms. So, and this is a great way to have explained this, and yeah, looking forward to what's next, because that's the innovation never stops, right?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. Awesome.
perfect.
Great. Thank you so much. Signing off from FlightBase and Milestone side. And this recording would be available on our YouTube channel. So in case you want to share it with your team or replay it, feel free to do so, and you'll get that in your email as well. Thank you, everybody, for
And
your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.